Oh, tell you what.
Now we can't hear you at all, David.
Say something.
You've muted yourself.
I pressed the button.
The echo will be all right. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us. If anybody out there hears any echo from any of us, can you let us know?
Yeah, we're in outer space by the sound of it.
Well, as you know, we are normally known for aliens and cryptids and cryptozoology and conspiracy theories and all this stuff. And so tonight we have Mr. David Inglis, who he knows more stuff about UFOs than I do. Yes.
Well, I wouldn't say that, but yeah.
But welcome to the show. And of course, we've got Mr. Wayne now, who's going, oh, I've got to do more decorating. Oh, do more decorating. So, yes, what was I going to say? What do you think about what's going on at the moment now? I'll launch straight into it. I'm going to go on with all the conspiracy theories about the what do they call it? The one world government, the Illuminati and all that's supposedly going on.
Yeah, sorry, you're asking me, are you?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm getting a terrible echo here. I don't know what it is.
We got an echo every time you thought.
Oh, this is terrible. I don't know if I'm not. I'll tell you what. I'm gonna go out and come back in again.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna see if I can sort something out. How do I get
out? It may even be me.
I reckon it's the Men in Black trying to get us.
Oh, that one's the Do you want me to remove you and then you can come back in?
Yeah, remove me and I'll come back in again.
Right. See you in a minute.
And I'll do the same because I'm currently going through my mobile phone.
Right. Hello, everybody. Everybody.
Wow, now there's an echo.
Yeah, you can. Which one are you going to be on? Your phone or your laptop? That one, right. Fuck me.
Now on the iPad.
Right, you're on your iPad. Right.
Yeah.
Is that better?
Well, I couldn't hear any echo in the first place, so.
Yeah, there was. Who was it? Yeah, Eric said there's echo. Yeah. They're all saying there's echo. Yeah.
Echo. And the bunnymen.
Oh, hang on. That's what's going on here. Right. So Viv's just said, do you want me on? So it's like, yeah, you come on if you want. Anyway, yeah, what do you make of all this at the moment with the Illuminati and the London government and the mayor and Sadiq Khan and that shithead we've got as a prime minister as well?
No comment. Yeah, I think there's a lot of weird stuff going on. I got a message on my phone earlier on today, and I lost it before I could actually open it and have a look. But it was about another charge that's going to be coming in.
Oh God, another one.
It's it's ridiculous. I mean, the ULEZ itself, bang out of order in the first place, considering they've done tests on the underground and on street level, and it's turned out that the emissions in the underground are worse than on street level. So, if anything, they need to overhaul the underground system, not the overground.
We were just talking about the conspiracy theories of the all that nonsense that's going on with Sadiq Khan and whatever the flip up.
Yeah. Hello. Am I? Is the echo?
No echo.
Right.
No echo.
You know what I've done? I've actually switched because I've got two cameras on here, and I've switched my other camera off. So I'm using the lower grade camera from my laptop, I'm afraid. So I don't know why. It must be something to do with StreamYard. It's
No, I reckon it's me because
Oh.
every time I use my
I'll
mobile,
blame you. I'll blame you then, Wayne.
no matter what show I'm on, if I use my mobile phone, someone always says there's echo. So
Right.
I reckon that's what the cause is. So I'll stop using my mobile.
Okay. Right. So, well, shall I plug? Oh, it's no good plugging. Shall I plug my other? Let's try and prove that then. Let's see if I plug my other camera in.
Yeah, I agree, Viv.
Sorry, I'm sorry if everyone watching this. It's all.
That's all right. You're welcome to join us if you want, Viv.
I think the worst part is that Sadiq Khan doesn't realise that, or I don't think that people realise that the government themselves can actually take him out of office.
Yeah. Well,
they won't whilst Rishi Sunak is Prime Minister.
No.
Not at all.
Sunak has to, Sunak has to go first.
Please just get rid of them all. Just get rid of them. Get rid of the whole boiling lot and start again.
It seems a bit
right. Oh yeah, that is a better camera, isn't it?
that is a better camera. Now, have we got no echo now?
No echo.
Right. Okay. That's it then. That's good.
So it was Mr. Wayne. It was Mr.
Yeah,
Wayne.
I reckon it was me.
Right. Okay. That is a better camera. And so you can see me in all my glory now.
So how you doing anyway? How you been since we saw you?
Yeah, I've had a bad cold, but apart from that, it's all right. I've been to it was the East Anglia event that we kind of got together, wasn't it? And we said we'd have to do some shows and things. And I do intend to get both of you on my show too, when I can get around to it. But I'm a bit full up at the moment, so you'll have to excuse me. I've got people backed up sort of into next year, so but I'm going to have to do a few extra shows, I think. Anyway,
that's because you're busy going out elsewhere.
Yeah, that's not. I mean, what I do, I only do a show every 2 weeks now. I mean, I think you do more regular shows, don't you?
Every week,
So I do a show every sort of 2 weeks now, but I've been doing 1 or 2 extra shows if need be. I might as well say now it's the Paranormal UK Radio Network for anyone that's sort of wondering what shows we're talking about. Yeah. And I've got a show called Paranormal Dimensions. Also do a show on Paranormal Panorama, which is linked to Outer Limits magazine, and that's called Strange Visions. That I'll do 1 a month on that one, so that's kind of another thing. But I've actually, since I saw you, I've been to the Awakening in Manchester.
That's right.
I've also been to Romania, went to Castle Dracula and all that sort of stuff. And a couple of just last weekend, I was at the Festival of the Unexplained, which was absolutely wonderful. It was brilliant. I just booked for next year, actually.
Yeah, I saw the pictures for it as well, and yeah, I did see the notification that you'd booked tickets for next year's one.
Yeah. Because you got to get in quick for that.
Sorted, weren't they?
Yeah, I mean they're not cheap, but they're actually worth. They're actually worth. It's in my mind, they're actually worth it. I mean, to actually be in a sort of a ghost hunt with Dave Schrader off of the Holzer Files and things like that off the TV, it's great. Actually to be in the same room and all that, it's actually quite an experience. Not only Dave Schrader, there's several other people, well-known names and things. I don't know what the guests are for next year yet, but I'm sure they will be pretty good. Hello, Viv.
Hello. Hello, Wayne, Mark, and the beautiful David Young.
You've got more ahead of me.
I'll pay you later, Viv.
Okay.
Anyway, we were just talking. Yeah, I mean, you were asking my opinion about what's going on lately, weren't you?
Yeah.
I mean, what are you actually referring to? Are you talking about the aliens, the alien mummies, and all that?
Oh no, the alien mummies don't. No. I've seen so many different things with them, and hi everybody in the chat room, and all that, and then that doctor's supposed to have said that they all come from one skeleton, and then they're not cobbled together. And then I saw the one of the cake, which looked like the skeletons, and then they cut the cake, and I was like,
The problem is like I said a couple of weeks ago, is that I am almost dead certain that they've got people out there on purpose to go on social media and spread the disinformation amongst the real stuff. Because then if you actually see the authentic stuff and you think, wow, that's pretty hard hitting, see them get out of this, and then within a matter of days you all of a sudden see these little spoof videos and everything else, it will change your perception of what you saw originally.
Yeah, that's true.
And you start questioning yourself.
Yeah.
And then you're going, well, okay, so was that real or wasn't it? And then you just go, nah, forget it. I'm not going to bother. And then you scroll past it. And so then it goes out of your mind and you don't think about it anymore. So could they be doing this on purpose to keep you away from the truth?
When you know the person that's involved in that thing with the new alien mummy thing, he was involved in the last fiasco of a few years back, which was all proven to be fake and fraud and everything. And they were using animal bones and other old bits of rubbish and just gluing them all together with building glue and all sorts of stuff. And I think this is just much the same thing again. You got the same bloke involved in it. You've got a TV channel called Gaia, which I think should be absolutely ashamed of themselves for putting stuff like that, because they've still got the old stuff on there from the previous lot that was pretty fake, and they've still got it on there. So to me, what does that show you about what Gaia is? And I mean, I would never subscribe to Gaia because, to be honest, there's a lot of stuff they do seem to show which seems a very high quality, good quality, but you don't know if you're looking at good quality rubbish or good quality good stuff, because there are people like Eric von Daniken who I've got a lot of time for, and he's the man who got me started in or interested in the whole thing in the first place. He's got shows on there, and I mean, people like David Icke have had shows on there. So, as I say, it's not all rubbish, but unfortunately, you've got to sort out the rubbish from the bad stuff, or the good stuff, I should say.
I used to subscribe to Gaia, and I've seen some really interesting things on there. Like you said, there's been some really interesting stuff.
Really well made, yeah.
Yeah, and then there's some stuff that you look at and you go,
So you even tried to get me to subscribe to it at one point, and I'm like, I don't know. I think I saved myself there, though.
Because it's not cheap either, is it? I don't think. I mean, I don't know exactly what it is, but over a year, I think you get them for about £100, don't you? Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I think it's like £11.
$7.99 a month or something stupid like that, similar to Netflix.
Yeah.
Oh, it's cheaper than I thought then. I thought it was dearer than that. But,
Viv wouldn't know because she only subscribes to Pornhub.
I know. She told me.
RedTube, if you don't mind.
Oh, RedTube. Oh, okay. So,
or was it OnlyFans?
Yeah. Come look at my feet.
OnlyFans.
It does more than just feet.
Underneath his t-shirt, he's got tassels. What we've said in previous shows, and I don't know if you agree, because you know, like I said, your UFOs and stuff, is over the last 2 years, it's sort of gone like that with the sightings, and then from about Christmas last year, wasn't it? I've watched it go with credible sightings and go, and everybody, I think even you said when we were talking to you at the Paracon, something's coming, but I don't know what.
Yeah, I mean, in my mind, I think there's stuff being seen all the time. I mean, I don't see stuff. I don't see stuff all the time. I want to put that straight out. It's not as if we're all going out and seeing stuff, but I think there's stuff being seen all the time. I think you tend to find they sort of sensationalise the stuff that is actually proven to be rubbish, or like a floating paper bag or something.
There's a lot
or a balloon or whatever. But they don't actually tell you anything about the real stuff, or not much of it. But I mean, obviously, there's a lot of stuff been going through the Pentagon lately. It seems like there's some important people, or supposedly important people, getting involved in all this. So there's got to be some truth in a lot of it. I mean, when I know I've seen real ones in the past, way back in the past, but you know, I as I say, I haven't seen any sort of recently myself, but I do know that other people do see them. So.
Do you think that these UFO sightings? Sorry, my voice is going. Shut up, you. But do you think the UFO sightings and the ghost sightings and the cryptid sightings, everything's being ramped up, the real stuff, just lately, and it's
to cover things up.
It's coming to a head, isn't it? Because are they not? Do you think there could be a case of? It's not what we think it is. It might be something completely different, all connected.
No, I actually think they're actually using it to cover up other stuff that's going on a lot of the time. Because to get you talking about like the alien mummies and stuff, which is all in the news, and you got people talking about it, rather than talking about Biden and the laptop and everything else and the other the impeachments and stuff like that. Unless it's Trump, of course, then they'll be all over it. But you know, it's. But yeah, I mean, it's true though, isn't it? It's, and also you get the Prince Andrew stuff they've covered up, which you're not mentioning anything about. And it's funny they're going after what's his name, Russell
Brand.
Russell Brand, and yet you hear nothing about the reports about Prince Andrew. So I know we're drifting away from. I know they're drifting away from the paranormal all that here, but are we? Because I think a lot of it is actually connected anyway, with the Satanism and everything else that's connected to it all.
Thing is, it's very similar to what the business with Jimmy Savile. You know, none of all of this came out until after he died. Yeah. And now all of a sudden they're doing it with Russell Brand. Now, for last God knows how many years now. He's been leading a normal life as such, and he has never hidden how he was when he first started out in TV. Yeah, he was a bit of a sexual deviant when he was on TV originally, but he's calmed down over the years, and he never hid the fact that he was a bit of a sexual deviant. He's admitted it himself. Yeah,
and I think times were different. You go back to like the 70s and the 80s, I think things were a bit more... I know, like the lad culture and all that. So I think even Viv agreed with me there. There was quite a lad culture there, and you had to be seen to be, you know, big with the girls and all that sort of stuff. And I think it was you know, and I would think that there were probably some women that were much the same anyway as well.
I think,
but it's not so brought out, is it?
I think as well with Russell Brand, I think a lot of it is because he is. Getting to be very outspoken, and he's starting to call out people that.
Oh, he's been doing that for a few years. Yeah,
he's been doing that for a while.
Yeah. And I think it's getting to a stage now where the powers that be have had enough.
Yeah,
and so they've decided, right, we've got this in our weapons chest. Let's bring this out.
If you watched his YouTube videos and the stuff that he was putting out on his Facebook, they were you could learn something, and they were quite intellectual and very political. And I think our governments didn't like what he was saying.
That's why they shut him down.
Exactly. And that's what they're doing. They're bringing this up now to try and stop him from going any further.
Well, once again, they did the same with David Icke, didn't they? They shut him down because of all the things that are coming out about the fake vaccines and everything else like that. And,
Jim Davidson's another one. You know, he was known for being a comedian and TV presenter, but now he's starting to speak out against the governments. They keep trying to shut him down as well.
Yeah.
You know, it seems to be anybody that's speaking out against the governments are being shut down.
Yeah, and I'll say it's not exactly the governments. Also, it's the actual controlling governments behind the governments. That's more to the point, I think.
Yeah,
I see. What's his face? Bill Gates was taking.
Hello, Bill, if you're listening.
He was taking
Bill.
Coffee video, wasn't he? And he had the One World Order badge on, and he had the camera. That's the WEF badge, isn't it? Or something. Yeah,
I think that's kind of connected to that.
Yeah, and he was there going, we need to really, really push for the one world and this, that, and the other. And I'm like,
he knows all about his vaccines and everything else, doesn't he? Yeah,
well, he learned that from his great grandfather, didn't he?
He's such an expert. Yeah.
They're all in on it. It's like when we spoke about the Titanic, wasn't it? And it seems mightily strange that with all that going on, and they were all going to be on the ship, and then all of a sudden one was left, and they all went, no, we're not going to go on the ship today. And then he died. Strange that. So there's lots of that going on. But,
they just so happen to be big money people as well in that sub.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, there was quite a few big,
quite convenient
on that ship. And then I've heard some things recently that it wasn't actually the Titanic that sunk; it was the sister ship. So
yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, whether you believe that or not, I don't know. But
there was something to do. What gave the warning out was originally when a camera submarine went down. They noticed something about the propellers at the rear, and it's something to do with the amount of propellers. There's a third propeller in the center.
That's right. Yeah,
and that was missing. There wasn't even a propeller shaft for a third propeller. So they're like, how can this be the Titanic? Titanic had 3 propellers, one either side and one in the center. And this is a different propeller because it's got more blades on it. So this can't be the right one. So was it the Titanic or the sister ship?
Unless they've both gone down, and I don't know. But,
well, they reckon that the Titanic wasn't ready. It wasn't quite ready for the launch. So it was the Olympic, wasn't it? The Olympic or the Britannic?
Yes.
The Olympic was sent out, and they swapped the names and everything. But either way, there's a lot of skullduggery.
Yeah, it's fascinating stuff. But and as I say, unless we actually go down and have a look, it's hard to tell. What
happens when you do that.
Yeah. I don't think I'd be going down there in a tin can somehow.
No, I wouldn't. Not after that little submarine that went missing a couple of months ago. That must have been terrifying.
Yeah.
The only good thing about it is that they wouldn't have. They would have known it was coming, but when it did, they wouldn't have known.
Yeah, it would have happened so fast that they wouldn't have
known anything about it. So.
And it's just been lights out, and that's it.
Yeah.
But on a completely different note now, what is your favourite UFO investigation that you've done, or favourite UFO conspiracy theory, or alien conspiracy theory?
That's a difficult question, really. I mean, the one I probably know the most about is the Rendlesham Forest one. Whether I call it my favourite one is another matter, but as Viv will probably testify to that. I do know quite a bit about it. I believe something happened over the 2 or 3 nights, whichever way you want to look at it. It's kind of been
second landing, wasn't there?
Yeah, it's kind of as I say, it's kind of been embellished into like a 3-night affair now, and there's another chap who's trying to make it into a 4 or 5-night event now, named Gary Heseltine. In his book, he's turned it into like a 4 or 5 night, and I think that it's just to fit his agenda for some of the dates that he's got.
Well, could we push it back a couple of decades as well? Because wasn't there an incident at Bentwaters a couple of decades before?
Well, I think there's been quite a few events over the years there. Yeah, I mean it was a witchcraft country, wasn't it, way back? Yeah. And it kind of makes you wonder if they built I seem to get the feeling that they build these bases near where there's things going on anyway, which are strange areas. So, like you're saying, Wiltshire, where they got Stonehenge and everything. They've got a big military base there.
That's right, just up the road from it.
Yeah, it kind of makes you wonder if they know there's stuff there. They kind of, I don't know, they build their bases on this to actually make use of it.
And try to restrict the area to the public as well.
Yeah, that's right.
But,
exactly
but David,
right.
You've got insider knowledge from Lieutenant Colonel Holt, haven't you, as well?
And Jim Penniston. I mean, I'm good friends with Jim Penniston too. Although I've never met him, but I talk to him a lot over Messenger and everything. And believe it, he has told me that he's the only one that he trusts in the field. Believe it or not, because he's actually. I mean, I've actually been trying to get him over for a conference, believe it, Jim Penniston. But he's been so busy with documentaries and things. He's got another documentary coming out very shortly, which is actually going to open up a whole can of worms as far as the other stories that are coming out with the Gary Heseltine's book and everything. and it's going to expose a lot of the lies and untruths, apparently. So we shall look out for that one. But as I say, I've been trying to get Jim over, and he did say that if ever he was going to come over, that he would only want me to sort of handle it. So I feel quite honoured for that. What happened there? But so I don't think it may never happen. I don't know, but it's nice to know that someone thinks of you like that. But yeah, Colonel Holt. So I was also trying to get Chuck over, Colonel Holt over. He's known as Chuck too. There was a deal going on that I was talking to a group that they do all sorts of paranormal tours from the States. They were going to try and get together a UFO tour and make like a high. And we were talking about making the Colonel Holt conference at the end of it. It's like the highlight at the end, but that's still being negotiated at the moment. So I don't know what's going to happen there with it.
If that does happen, let us know, please.
Yeah, well, if it does happen, I will let you know. But it takes a lot of energy, and it takes a lot of. It takes a lot of. When I did the Colonel Holt conference before, it took a lot of energy and a lot of finances and getting things organised and everything, and the amount of work you put into it, and then you get kicked in the teeth at the end of it, which is what happened with that. Not from Colonel Holt or anything like that, but with the person I was involved with at the time, whose conference it actually was when it started out. And I said, I'll help out. And I ended up lumbered with not lumbered with it. I just ended up doing all of it. Financing it and everything.
I know that feeling.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of I mean, the thing is, I got so deep into it, there was no way out of it. I just had to keep going and, sort of just see it through. But, like a week before that conference, I thought I was going to be a couple of $100 down, But as it happens, I was just about sort of probably made a few quid out of it, which didn't pay for all my work that I'd done on it. But it was enough to cover all the expenses and everything and pay for hotels and airfares and everything else. And luckily, some of the other people that were speaking there, they didn't sort of expect any sort of payment for the event. I was very lucky I had a good technical bloke that turned up, because I think we'd have been in trouble, because he did actually help out quite a bit with the technical things when they weren't going right. The laptop's not working and stuff like that, as usually happens, as Viv knows all about. But I mean, and also I've spoken to him again, and I said if I do another conference next year, maybe. I've asked him, will he sort of be my tech girl? And he said yes. So that's one step towards it. But whether I'm actually going to do it or not, I don't know, because it still takes a lot of effort.
All I know is if you go to Gracelands, I'm coming with you and Jill next time.
We're going in May. we're going in May. May the 24th we're going.
Guys, I'm going to pop off because my throat, I've got a conserve for tomorrow. So I know, but I just popped on really to see you guys, Wayne, Mark, and of course David, and to support the show.
And don't forget, you've got to fix up some sort of a thing in Essex near us sometime.
Yes,
if you can manage it.
I've got the venue. I just got to work it out.
Not like Rendlesham Forest in August, Viv.
No.
We sort of skipped that one, didn't we?
It's Dan's fault, but I've got a venue sort of penciled out, and there'll only be about 6 of us there, and it's
nice.
I'll speak to you off air anyway about it.
All right. So. Yeah.
But I'm going to love you all and leave you all. And
take care of yourself, Viv. Nice to see you.
I will, and I'll speak to you soon, David. Take care, everyone.
Yeah. Cheers, Viv. Bye-bye.
Bye.
You know what? I know she's going to watch this. You know why she got a sore throat, don't you?
I mean, if you'd have heard me last week, that's what I was like last week. I had to sort of delay my show that went out because I came back from Romania and I could barely speak. I had a cold and everything, and I was trying to get well in time for the Festival Without Explained.
Yeah.
So just about managed to do that.
What was I going to say? I sent you the photo, didn't I? That we took at Rendlesham Forest when Wayne and I saw that thing.
I think you did. Yes.
Yes, I did. Yeah, because that was the thing about Rendlesham Forest was when we went the first time when we were filming down there. And when we were on a break.
That's right. Yeah, yeah.
We were just leant up, looking up at the sky, and then all of a sudden we're like.
But it was the whole series of things, wasn't it? Because there was the 6. It was the 6 before we saw that, wasn't it? We had the two that went over our heads in sort of from west to east.
Yeah.
Then we had the 2 stationary ones.
Oh yeah.
Then we had the one that sort of went like wobbly and wavy over the eastern horizon, and then all of a sudden there was 2 jets flew over.
That's right.
And we said, didn't we, on the app that they were military jets from Lakenheath.
That's right.
That had gone from west to east. And then it was about 3 or 4 minutes after that we saw the triangle.
And then another
right
one
over our heads,
wasn't it?
Yeah, because they can cover sort of that distance in just a few minutes, can't they?
Yeah. But the thing was, it was also, I mean, when I look back at it, it was the lead up to that as well. Because when we were filming, we first went to the East Gate to film the little introduction parts, wasn't it, Mark?
Yeah.
And then we moved further down towards where the end of the runway is, on the outside of the fence. And then we went off down the footpath that led to the alleged landing site. Of course, as we're standing at the bottom of the runway talking, a white pickup comes down inside of the fence and stops on the other side of the fence and just sat there watching us. And they wouldn't let us out of our sights until we'd completely disappeared out of their view. And all through the night, we kept hearing things in the undergrowth. And we're like, now I look back at it and think, well, it could have been wildlife. But could it have been them guys keeping an eye on us to see what we're up to?
Yeah.
Because it seemed all a little bit shady that they were following our every step.
Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, because there's always people poking around over there looking for UFOs and stuff. Why they would take particular interest in you, I don't know. But I mean, I can't say. I've been there in the dead of night, sort of like 2:30 in the morning. I've not really seen anyone keeping an eye on. Not that I knew of, anyway.
I think for us, it was because it was daylight when we first got there, and we had the cameras and the lights with us, and we were actually filming at the back gate. And then we moved down to the bottom of the runway, and they'd obviously gone down to have a look to see what we were up to, saw that we'd got cameras, and maybe thought maybe this is going to be worth looking into. Yeah. But like you say, you get a lot of people, a lot of paranormal enthusiasts, a lot of UFO hobbyists and whatnot go down there. It's set up for the UFO trail. So members of the public can walk around there, and there is no restriction to when you can do that walk.
No.
It's not a legal requirement that you have to do it during daylight hours. So, like you say, why would they be keeping an eye on us? We're not doing it.
No, I mean, I think there is an unwritten rule that you're not supposed to walk around in the dark, actually, so they say. I mean, I've heard that they don't like people they're after sort of in the dark, in the dead of night. Why, I don't know, but I mean, people do it anyway because there's no way of really stopping you. But I mean, I'll tell you, I was going to ask you a question when you mentioned about being at the Eastgate. Did you notice any sort of a certain scent or smell there at all?
Yes.
We said about that, didn't we, when we was in the filming? Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it like well, you tell me what you smelled.
To me, it wasn't floral. It definitely wasn't flowers. And obviously, being in the woods, you'd have expected it to be sort of like a woody smell, but it was more like a musty.
I was just about to say, like musty damp.
Musty damp smell, even though it was out in the open.
Right. Well, I was gonna suggest. I've often smelled like a disinfectant type of smell, like an antiseptic type smell, over that way. Would you describe it as that? And it's not always there. I mean, sometimes it's there and sometimes it isn't.
In places I could smell that, but that was when I actually walked on the trail a couple of weeks later. I went back up there.
When we walked up to the gate, there were patches that did smell like that because I can't remember which one it was, but one of your crew kept saying it smells like Jay's fluid. Do you remember?
Yeah, something like that. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when you go into a hospital and you can sort of smell that sort of antiseptic.
Problem is, there are pine trees in that forest. So could it have been the pine that we could smell?
Oh, right, because there's pine disinfectant. That's what you're saying. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if that's a possibility. I mean, the thing is, you don't always smell it. That's the thing.
Yeah.
You know, I just wondered if you smelt the same things that I have over the years.
The closest smell I can say to it was, have you been to Drakelow Tunnels?
No, I'd love to, but
the Drakelow Tunnels, there's a bit when you go to what would have been the medical room where allegedly, inverted commas, things happen and they use lots and lots of Jay's fluid and that to cover up the smell of blood. And when you go in the medical room, you can still smell it. And it's strong as anything when you go in there. And it reminded me of that.
We had that down at Kelvedon Hatch Nuclear Bunker. We were in the medical room there, and all we could smell was disinfecting. It was a strong smell.
Yeah, I have been there, yeah.
We had a very negative spirit come through, and we managed to dispose of it. And the second the spirit left the atmosphere, the smell of disinfectant went as well.
Oh, really? Wow,
it just stopped, and everybody all said the same thing. I think there was 8 or 9 of us in that particular area at the time, and we'd all noticed the smell of disinfectant when the investigation started. And then when it started going south, and we had to say to the spirit, you know, we don't want you in this atmosphere, please remove yourself. Eventually it went, and so did the smell at the same time.
With places like Kelvedon Hatch and things like that, I'm always of especially around Essex and that, because remember you had the Iceni years ago that used to go all the way across there, and they used to practice blood rights and everything. Yeah. I'm always of the opinion that when you've dug into a very, very old bit of land, woods, forest, mountains, whatever, especially around there, if you're disturbing, I don't know, a watcher, whatever, something that's been there from the year dot, if you're disturbing that, I've always kind of thought that that's possibly what half the energy people feel is. Because like with Kelvedon, not really that much when people were alive and around and that stuff ever happened there. But things that happen now is stuff left over from like that.
There is supposedly a cemetery there, or was a cemetery there, that was removed when the bunker was built.
Well, that would piss a lot of people off, yeah.
So, yeah, that could be like you say, that could be the essence of where the hauntings are coming from.
Because there's supposed to be an elemental around there as well somewhere.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if that, in conjunction with all the upheaval, sets things off.
Yeah, could be. I mean, did you experience? I mean, as I said, I spent quite a few evenings walking around Rendlesham, taking photos and things. Now, I don't know what your opinion is about seeing orbs and things like that. I mean, I know there's a lot of opinion that you're seeing dust and molecules, water molecules, and stuff like that. Okay. But there's a lot of times when you can take pictures in exactly the same place, one after another, maybe 8 or 9 pictures in a row. Most of them will come out dark, black, and then you'll get 1 or 2 in the middle, which has got all shapes in them, and then all of a sudden, and then they'll just go back to black again. Now, in my opinion, and it is only my opinion, if it was dust or moisture in the air, you get it on every photo. I mean, what do you feel about that?
As the non-ghost hunter, because I haven't been on one bloody investigation this year, and I'm starting to get real. But everyone I've gone on when there's been orbs, I've only ever seen 2 investigations where it's not dust and it's not insects. And I think you'll agree with me yourself. When it's a genuine orb, it's different, and it's always a different color. Yeah. And as you say yourself,
that's right. So they're all different colors. That's right.
Yeah. And when it's insects and dust and stuff, it's uniform.
I've always said to people that when they go, oh look, orb straight away, and I'm like,
things people send us and it's dust.
I would go down the road of saying about 96-97% of the orbs that people capture on video or camera are just either water particles dust, bugs,
Yeah.
Other molecules of dirt or things that are thrown up into the air when you're moving around and things like that. But the odd percent, you would have, or would be more tangible as evidence, would be the fact that it might be an odd shape, moving erratically, different colour or changing colours, and people would be like, "I never thought of that." Yeah. And I've seen a video footage, a live video camera of someone sitting in a, I think it was the condemned man's cell where they used to hang the prisoners at Shepton Mallet, and a guy was sitting at the table. The hangman's noose was right in front of him, and this black orb came in from behind him, literally went to the back of his head and stopped, and then quickly turned back and went back the way it came. Now, dust particles won't do that unless there's something forcing it back the other way. So you'd have to have a fan, or someone would be blowing air in that direction. But it literally went to the back of this guy's head, then turned around and went back the other way. If you're going on an airflow, you're going to follow that course. Mm. If it was a bug, then it was a fast bug because it moved pretty quickly. Yeah. So I'm on the belief that 96%, 97% of it can be proven as sort of
I tend to agree with that.
Terrestrial answer, but there'd be the odd 3% that, you know, if it don't look right. And they proved it, didn't they, with I think it was in 1990, 91, where somebody had said they caught something paranormal on camera in Iraq during the Desert Storm. And it turned out to be what they called skyfish. And it was where the camera had taken the picture of a bug going past the front of the lens. And the picture was taken so fast that it caught the individual wing beats.
Oh, so these rods, these rods that people see.
Yeah, they're also known as skyfish. And everybody was going, "Oh my God, it's a ghost, it's a ghost." And until someone worked in, I think it was Fujifilm or Kodak, had turned around and went, "No, this is what happens when you actually take a picture of a bug that's flying past your camera lens at the same time you're taking a picture."
Yeah, so depending on the film, or obviously back in the days of the film, there's the speed of the film or whatever. Yeah. And also it's the optical lens.
The shutter speed.
Yeah, the shutter speed.
The shutter speed is now so fast, especially with digital cameras now, it's almost non-existent. So skyfish on a digital camera now are pretty much non-existent, simply because the shutter speed's that much quicker. But with the orb side of things, it's, you know, I've seen a few orbs that I can honestly say I can't put down to water particles or dust or anything like that.
Yeah, I think the funny thing is with some of these old pictures I've taken and other people have taken, you'll take a picture and also have these all shapes appear in them, but they also, over the next photo that comes along, those same orbs seem to have moved to a different position and they're the same colour. You know, so, and then, of course, like I said, and then you'll take another picture after that and they're all gone, you know.
I've found with this, especially over the years of doing this, people send in clips and stuff. And we had one particular one that kicked off big time last year. I told you, didn't I? They sent me this clip and it was somebody it was a security camera, and it was somebody walking down a hallway. And as they walked down the hallway, dust had been disturbed by the airflow. And started settling. And then when they came back, they went back again and the dust kicked up again. And they were, it's orbs. And I was really polite. and I wasn't, because, like, as you know, on the show, we're known for not taking prisoners unless we've got guests, and we're nice to guests. So everybody, we don't take prisoners. There's a fair bit of swearing and stuff. And I was nice and polite to them. I said, "Thank you, you know, for sending me the video, but I'm ever so sorry. It's dust. If you watch it carefully, you can see the wind catches it."
Yeah.
My God, they swore more than an army cook, I tell you.
It's when they turn around and go, "Oh, but my wife keeps the house really clean and tidy." And you're like, hang on a minute. There is no such thing as keeping your house that clean and tidy that there's not one speck of dust.
Yeah.
I mean, you're constantly losing skin all the time.
Yeah, I mean, you can see it on any TV show that's got light shining. You can see all the dust in the lights, can't you?
Yeah.
You know, when you watch stuff like Strictly Come Dancing or whatever, you can see all the dust in the lights all the time, and it's constant.
Yeah. I tried never once, but I just get slipping everywhere. What I was going to say about it with the orbs when they're different colours, the one thing that sticks in my mind, we did a investigation it was a private one for a company because they were getting a bit spooked out by a particular place and where else to go in. That was with Kerry Greenaway, and we were at this dance studio and there's like several businesses going on in this network of buildings. Long story short, we found out why people were feeling sick and feeling that people were watching them and this, that, and the other. There was a generator room downstairs which had like several heavy-duty generators in this wonderful room. And when you were stood the other side of the room, put an EMF meter on it, it went bang, and like proper bang. And that's why people were feeling it. However, one part of the building was built over a drained witch's ducking pond. And on digital camera and on digital film, we had these black orbs. There was 2 black orbs that followed from room to room to room, and when I put an EMF pump out and down on the floor, and we were filming this thing and say digital cameras, you can see these 2 black orbs circling the EMF pump like that. I'll have to see if Kerry's still got the photos, but those 2 black orbs, they had like squares inside them and diamonds and weird and wonderful shapes and this, that, and the other. But it's like I said, they're always a different colour to your normal stuff. It's always different.
Yeah, and always seem to have a shape within within them as well. You might get a blue orb, but it'll have like a red shape in it or something.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you've heard of Brenda Butler, haven't you? I've walked around with her quite a bit, and she's got some sort of, I don't know, psychic abilities or whatever. And she'll say there's some activity over there, sort of thing. And you point your camera over there, and that's where you'll get your orbs, or you'll get, or sometimes you'll get like a misty shape will pop up. And she's got some terrifying pictures of some like monstery type shapes that she's taken, and you can't see them with your eyes. It's only they only come out when and nobody's smoking or anything, but they're like smoky shapes type of thing.
Yeah.
All sorts of shapes she's come out with, but you can't actually see them with your eyes. She only comes out in the photo. So
yeah. I know what you mean. So, out of all the stuff that you do with paranormal, what's like your forte? Like Wayne's is the ghosts and the paranormal side of it. Mine's the ufology and cryptozoology and stuff like that. What's yours?
I don't know. I tend to like all of it, to be honest. It's I wouldn't say I've got one kind of real favourite type. I think I've probably started out on the UFO side of it, but I think I've always been interested in what ghosts are and everything else like that. And I'm tending to find now that a lot of paranormal stuff is all linked to anyway, you know, like things like ghosts, UFOs, cryptids, and I think a lot of it is kind of interdimensional. I'm kind of going on the path now of it's a difficult thing to get your head around, but the holographic universe and things of, you know, I mean, I've only just started trying to get my head around it, and it's just starting to make a little bit of sense to me. And it does, and it is starting to make sense. But I've still got a long way to go, unfortunately. Whether I'll ever get all the way there, I don't know. But
we're inside a supercomputer.
Yeah, well, maybe. Well, there, I don't know. But it does seem that because nothing is solid, and you can understand different vibrational waves and everything, and things vibrate on different planes, and you know things that can be going on all around you, actually different times. I mean, we know there's no such thing as time. And maybe things are all happening at the same time on different wavelengths, and that's kind of where I am, I think, at the moment.
Well, they used to say, wasn't it? They used to say it was like past, present, and future, but now they're saying that like past, present, and future are actually in a line and run along together. And now if we could just find a way of nipping up, we could do it.
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely believe in life on other planets, and I believe that they're probably, you know, there's probably some out there that are millions of years in advance of us. So there's absolutely no reason why they couldn't be visiting us, and if we were that important, which I don't think we are, or anywhere else in the world. But I actually think a lot of what we're seeing is actually interdimensional stuff now. That's only my opinion. I've got no evidence for it. You know, I can't back it up. But that's only, you know.
one of the things we've talked about in quite a few shows before is portals and things like that. Like and when like the Irish at Tuatha De Danann, the precursors, the ones who were before us, the Fays, the fairies, the elves, they disappeared through portals. And the Native Americans talk about portals and how these people who were soon way superior to us just went through portals. And you've got the knowledge, you can go through the portals as well.
Yeah. I mean, I had quite a fascinating person on my show a little while back named Katie Ray, and she was talking about fairies and things like that. And I always thought of fairies as like the Walt Disney things, like you see in, like the little fairies with a little wand and all that. But fairies are something quite different. And they're actually quite terrifying. They can be.
Teeth.
The dimensional ones and not the elementals that you were talking about earlier. And it was a really fascinating. I actually, when she gave her talk, actually at I don't know if it was Parameet or whatever it was, I actually said to her, I said, would you like to come on my show? Because that was fascinating. And she did. And I've got her book, actually. It's really, really interesting. I mean, it's something I just thought was a myth, like fairies and things like that. But I'm finding a lot of these old myths, I find there's a lot of truth in a lot of them now, or seem to be.
Every myth and legend that we've ever spoken about, and I've always said the whole reason I started doing this, like as a kid, I got into all the stuff. It was for every single legend and myth and story and urban legend and whatever, there was that tiny little spark that originated it. Like dinosaur, the word didn't exist back in antiquity. It was dragon, and dinosaur was a relatively new term that was used in Victorian times. So, when you've got all the stories of George and the dragon and the Chinese dragon and the Japanese and the European and this, that, and the other, were they referring to, it wasn't dinosaurs, it was something else.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, the other way around, dragons didn't exist.
Yeah, I know what you mean, yeah.
I know what I meant, I'm tired.
It's getting out to my bedtime and all.
Well, we'll finish in there. But do you know what I mean? Every single thing had that tiny little spark. So what was that spark? Like Loch Ness, Nessie. I don't see why they did something about that migrates, and that's why you only see it certain times of the year, and yet you'll see it at another lake in Norway on the times of the year it's not seen in.
That's right, and it's the same as Bigfoot and all the others, isn't it? The Vulnerable Snowman and all sorts of different things all over the planet. They're seen sometimes, and they just sort of disappear and no sign of them. But they do leave sometimes physical traces, which can be seen. I mean, go back to Rendlesham Woods. I've heard stories about a big cat that wanders about the woods.
Oh, there's lots of them all over the UK. There's loads in Somerset. Loads in Somerset.
But that particular area is known for black shuck, isn't it? Rendlesham and Dunwich area into Norfolk. Black shuck is quite well known.
Yeah. I mean, I would like to say, when you were talking about seeing lights and all that, on several occasions when I've been in the dead of night, we've actually seen, somebody pointed out to me, first of all, there was a star that started moving, and then it stopped, and then it moved, and then it stopped. I mean, we know stars don't do that. And I saw that years ago when I was a kid. And then there was another one started doing the same thing. So it looked like two stars were actually moving and stopping and moving and stopping. And we were watching them for probably a good 15, 20 minutes, And that was by Eastgate. Or not.
But that was like
like the stars over Eastgate.
Yeah. And it was like the two static ones that me and Mark had seen. One was on one side of the clearing and one was on the other. And then within minutes later, both of the stars had gone. They'd vanished.
And
it was a clear night. There was only a few wispy clouds floating about. And that's what alerted us to the triangle, wasn't it? Because we looked up.
That was bizarre.
And we could see the 3 points. But there was obviously being no light pollution there whatsoever.
You could see all the stars.
You could see all the stars in the sky. They were everywhere, thousands of them. And yet in that black triangle, there was absolutely nothing. And every once in a while, you'd see a wisp of cloud go underneath it. And that was the point then when Mark was like, right, let's get photos of this. Because no one's going to believe us.
Yeah, I mean, could that have been a secret military aircraft? Do you think?
Whatever this was, it was huge. And I mean, it was huge.
Well,
at least 2 or 3 football fields.
And it was, yeah. I mean, for the size of it, I mean, we've seen pictures of the TR3B, and in comparison, this was 10 times bigger.
Really, that's wow.
And most of the TR3Bs have got something in the centre of the triangle. This was just nothing. It was total black, and all you could see was the lights on the 3 points, and that was it.
It would be what I would call, in shipping terms, you have like the mothership, you have the battleship, the aircraft carrier, whatever the biggest ship is. That's what that was in their terms. I think it was whatever it was huge, and it was big, and it blotted out the stars.
It was big. It was big enough for clouds. It was big enough.
It wasn't high enough
for clouds to pass underneath it.
Yeah, it's quite amazing. I mean,
so that gave us the perception of how big it was.
Yeah,
simply because clouds were passing underneath it.
Yeah, I mean, did you make any sort of inquiries about it? To the powers that be?
We use all the different apps. We use like Military Freedar, all that. Like we checked Elon Musk satellites. We checked other satellite launches. We checked the International Space Station. So we do it. We've seen a few UFOs and stuff we've done, and we always check it straight away.
Yeah, that's right. Because in the woods, you can actually see the satellites going over. I know.
Yeah, it was none of it. It wasn't Starlink. It wasn't anything. It was 3 static pointer lights. But it was a solid mass because, as I say, in that triangle there was no stars. All the stars were outside. You could see the triangle by the stars that were around it.
It was very similar to the background on the bottom right hand side of our background there. It was very similar to that, apart from the blue hazy bit. So you could see all the stars except for this black triangle in the middle of it.
Yeah, I'm sitting next
that was the view we were being treated to, and we're like,
we were like, and a few of them had gone off to go and get some camera lights and stuff, and they missed it. And when they came back, we were like, "You're never going to believe what's just happened." And then when we showed them the picture, they were like,
I mean, being
on the cameras, could they? On the professional cameras, they couldn't get it. And we had our phones, and luckily it's got the pro stuff on it, so you can adjust the light settings and everything, so you can get it. And we got it, and then it was just. And then do you remember there was another one? And these things turned up with no noise. We didn't even know they were there. Just went bang, turned up, and there was one mirrored it on the other side of the clearing, wasn't there?
Yeah.
There was one, and then there was all that nonsense with all the other things flying about, and then this other one just appeared, and we were like, "What the hell?"
Yeah. I mean, being as big as it is, I mean, I wonder if you were the only ones that did see it. And maybe you can only sit at certain angles, because I think some of these things have got cloaking mechanisms. And
I mean, this must have been
straight up, and it was one on the left,
right over the top of us.
It was bloody big, whatever it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, talking about the style, but I mean, that's one of the things. I don't know if I mentioned it to you. When the first thing I ever remember seeing, and I thought it was just a star moving. I was probably about 8 or 9 sitting on my steps in London, and I was actually watching this star move and stop and move and stop. And, sort of much the same as what I saw in Rendlesham many years later. But of course, back then I just thought it was a star moving and stuff. And suddenly, sort of, when you get in your teen years, you thought, well, what the hell was that? Because we know that stars don't do that, So, and I'm talking about. I mean, I'm older than you two. I'm going back to the late 50s. So
you don't look it. You don't look it. I wouldn't have said you were that old.
Oh, thanks. I don't know if it was an insult or what, but here we go.
When you first see something like that, you sort of look at it and go, "Nah, it can't be." And that's how you would first look at something like that, and then it's not until you start questioning yourself.
That's right.
And then you start looking into it, and you think, "Oh, well, maybe was it something else?"
Yeah. I mean, there was, even back then, back in the late 50s, I'm talking about the late 50s, we didn't have all the satellites even that were flying about now. They were the early days of like Telstar and all these sorts of things that came along around about 1960. So,
and also, you've got the likes of the moon landings. That wasn't until 1969 onwards. So, you've got rockets going up there, but obviously, you set up a Saturn rocket up into space. It's not going to start and stop.
I mean, you've just opened another interesting can of worms there. I mean, there's a lot of people don't believe that we went to the moon. Personally, I do, because I was involved in a lot of military equipment that in the late 60s. That was my job, and I was working on a lot of military microelectronics at the time, so I sort of knew what our capabilities were. So, and I do remember following the moon landings. I mean, what's your opinion? Do you not believe?
I do think they landed, but I think they found stuff or were.
Oh yeah, definitely. No, I don't. They've never. I do agree entirely. They've never been straight, about.
I was going to ask you a question. What do you, before we disappear? What do you think about the thing on the moon landings? That they were warned off and told, "Don't come back unless we've made contact with you first," and the fact that it was supposed to be the remains of millennia-old buildings that have been bombed out by NASA because they don't want people to know that there were buildings up there.
Yeah, I'm not sure I could go as far as that, but I do believe they've seen things on the moon that they've not told us completely about. And also, we didn't go just once.
No, we didn't.
6 times. Was it 6 or 7 times? I can't remember. But I know one was a failure, though, Apollo 13, which is a. And I can remember following that all the way along that. Around the moon, and they sort of brought it back by using the landing craft. That in itself was quite fascinating. I mean, a lot of people would say that if they didn't go to the moon, what happened there then? Because they actually must have gone around the moon with this landing craft and brought it back again. So
there was the thing with the original landing, wasn't there, when they switched channel?
Yes, there's two. You got a private channel.
Yeah, the guy was monitoring it, and he heard them saying they're watching this.
Yeah, not Neil Armstrong, and right.
And there is also the story and a very popular thought that the Apollo missions didn't stop at Apollo 17.
Oh yes,
right the way up to Apollo 20.
Lady. Yeah. I remember seeing that film Apollo 18. Did you see that one? There's a film called Apollo 18 and Why We Never Went Back, which is actually quite a good film if you want to catch up.
Is that with the ship that had the pilot with the weird scaffolding round her?
I actually can't remember, but it's about the
he knows what I'm talking about.
Mixed up with Bob the Builder. That's what it is.
No.
Scaffolding.
No. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I'm not.
Weird breathing tubes and stuff. It looked like weird sort of bony type scaffolding when they found this.
Oh, it could. Yeah, that's right. I know. Yeah, I can't actually remember the full facts of the film. I mean, it was quite a long while ago I did see it, but I know it was quite creepy actually, and it was kind of the reason we never went back because there was aliens there telling us not to be there and stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because then you got the moon is hollow.
Yeah, well, it's a possibility.
When they smacked something into it, it rang like a bell.
Apparently, I've heard stories about it. It shouldn't actually be there and stuff like that. And the measurements between Earth and the Moon, and they come to I don't know exactly. I think it's 250,000 miles or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But for the size of it, it shouldn't be there. And you're right; it does echo, make a metallic sound when it's struck by something. So,
what is it? There's rocks on the moon that they've tested because there was supposed to have been another planet near Earth, wasn't there? And there was a big cataclysm, and it sort of went
collide.
Yeah.
And that's why you've got the asteroid belt, and that's why the bits that came off Earth, and because on part of Earth, you've got bits that are on the moon. But it's supposed to have gone concentric force, wasn't it, and made the moon?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. I mean, we hear the story about the Van Allen belt, and we can't go through it, and all sorts of stuff like that. That's been proven to be false because, yes, the Van Allen belt is actually dangerous, but it's how long you're in it is the thing. If you go through it fast enough, it's not a problem. So that's kind of where that goes. When people say about it's too dangerous to go through, it's just not the case. It's just how long you're in it.
Yeah, I mean, they was like, it's the radiation that will kill them soon as well. But if you've got I know obviously costings and the weight of the vehicle, which in space is going to be almost non-existent anyway. So if you've got the capsule that you're in is lead lined, you're going to have some protection for the astronauts anyway. So, and then, like you said, the speed and velocity going through the Van Allen belt would help ensure that they were in no danger.
Yeah, that's an important factor, which is all measured into the thing in the first place. And when they wait for the right window and everything to leave, when they do go.
And it would also flip the other way if extraterrestrial was to come from planet Blip so many thousands of light years away and come to Earth and actually land on Earth, they've got to come through the Van Allen belt as well.
Yeah.
It works both ways. They would have to come through that belt to get within Earth's atmosphere.
Van Allen belt?
But of course, I mean, we could be talking, like I said, we could be talking about a civilization that's thousands of years more advanced.
Exactly.
So they would have some sort of.
I've got one thing for you before we disappear, and this is one that cracks.
Are you going to really disappear like magic, or?
Yeah. A wizard walks into a gay bar and disappeared with a puff. So yeah.
Sorry, I put you right off, didn't I? Go on, Karen.
So I've had people message before, and I've told Wayne about it, and I've upset people about it as well. Like I respect if anybody's religious and this something. I respect if you believe in something, good. I'm not going to sit there and poo-poo you and this that and the other.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm not religious myself, but yeah, it's to their own. Yeah,
I've had people saying to, I think I sent Wayne the messaging and stuff. We can't possibly have been in space. We can't get into space because of the firmament. Yeah. And as soon as I see that, I have to go. Yeah. Right. What are your thoughts on the firmament? And could the firmament in the Bible be the Van Allen belt?
Possibly. I won't say it's impossible, but I mean. The firmament. What do you actually mean by the firmament? Are we talking about the flat Earth theory?
The dome.
The big dome.
Oh, that type of thing. Yeah, like we're living under a dome. Yeah, I don't believe that for a moment. Yeah. It's the same.
I think whoever started that must have been reading Stephen King's Under the Dome.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the flat Earth theories and everything. I mean, why did we need?
That would have knocked everything off the edge if the Earth was flat.
Yeah, I mean, we've got instruments that you need to, when you're going around like if you're on a ship or whatever, they've got instruments which you need to go around the globe because they've got like a globe shape on them. So why would you need that if the Earth was flat?
Yeah.
And there's also another design I saw, what I've seen on Facebook, which goes around sometimes. You got like a flat Earth picture, like a round circle, and you got like a lamp standing there, and you can just turn the lamp on and off. So you got day night.
Yeah.
I asked a flat earther once if we all stood on one side of the flat Earth, would we tip over? They didn't answer it. They didn't answer it whatsoever.
Yeah,
it's
really unbelievable that in this day and age. I mean, I'm sorry if there are some flat earthers out there just watching this, but you're going to have to go a whole lot way, a lot further to convince me that it's a flat Earth. But I mean obviously, those people out there that believe that though, they think that we're all daft. They're the ones that are right. So
there was a very well-known video where this flat earther guy. He was going to prove everybody that the flat Earth existed, and he'd got all these laser measuring tools and everything else. And he was like, "Look, this laser proves that we're on a flat Earth." And then someone had said to him, "Hang on a minute, you do realise the Earth is so many thousands of miles around, and you're only measuring from point A to point B, which is a rather short distance. If you measure it from a further distance, you will find the curvature of the Earth in your measurements." As soon as he did that, he went, "I'm not doing that experiment again."
That same guy had 3 people with high-powered lights, and he put them out. Do you remember? He put them out at specific mileage points, and he was looking at them through a high-powered telescope. And I can remember seeing him going, "Well, I can't see it." We'll say Richard. He was like the third one out. He's like, "I can't see him." And he put the lights up. "Yeah, I'm holding up," and the guy can see it on the camera and see him holding up, and he's like, "What?" And then somebody's gone curvature.
Yeah, the curvature. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, well, it's like, I mean, if you watch a ship go in the distance, you'll see it disappear eventually because it's going around over the horizon. So,
I think personally, they just read too many Terry Pratchett books. So.
Yeah, that's right. It's a shame, really, but well, it's entertaining for us anyway.
We'll have to finish now, but I would like to say, if you'd like to come back again, we'd love to have you back again.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Like
as I said before, I'm going to get you two on the show anyway. I'll fix it. I'll send you some dates and stuff, and we can talk all sorts of stuff from your point of view.
Yeah. And next time we could probably talk about our little ghost walk that we went on.
Yes, we could talk about that. But which was actually, we'll have to do that again. Actually, he's doing some more, isn't he, in Colchester? He's doing another witch walk or something. Yeah. But we'll have to get together, Wayne, because you're in my neck of the woods. You're a bit further away, Mark, aren't you?
I'm in Scarborough, yeah.
Yeah. So, but we'll have to try and fix something up, Wayne.
Yeah, definitely.
Let me know, and I'll see if I can try and come down for it. Because I'm down his neck of the woods this weekend.
Oh, are you?
My daughter's wedding.
Oh, right. Oh, well, congratulations.
He's
hope it all goes well.
He's going to be passing through.
Yeah, we're going to come down to Wayne and Alan's, me and the missus, and we'll have a
good luck with that. Hope it all goes well. Hope the weather keeps nice for you.
So thank you.
It's
been wonderful having you on the show, mate. And as I say, you've got to come back again because you've got a hell of a lot more fascinating stories than we've just filled an hour with.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about that. I mean, everyone says that, but I'm often, I like listening to other people's stories. I mean, that's the thing. That's why I do my radio shows, so I learn from other people. And you know what it is? I think you think of yourself as not very interesting, don't you? And but that's just the way it is.
On yours, you'll have to ask us about us doing a paranormal investigation and seeing a UFO at the same time.
Oh yes, definitely. Yeah, we'll do that. But
thank you very much for doing this. Do you want to plug your show before we disappear?
Well, okay. If anyone wants to catch it, it's on the www.paukradio.com network. It's Paranormal Dimensions with David Young, and it's on fortnightly. And I've got another one, but I mentioned that earlier, but that's the more important one, I've got to say. But it's been nice talking to you, Mark and Wayne. Thank you very much for inviting me, and hope to see you again soon sometime.
Yeah.
You will do. And everybody who's been watching in the chat room, thank you for joining us, and everybody out there on all the different networks, because this gets seen in the week. So whoever's watching us in the week, thank you. And we'll be back next Monday, and we'll finish off that cryptid list. Mr. Wayne, do you want to do any plugging?
Oh yes, Spookanori Live next Sunday at 9:30. I'll actually be reading one of my very first story, A Whistle from the Hills. Up till now, every Sunday we've been reading short stories from a book of collective stories called A Shiver of Spooks, which is a
Is that one of the ones I've got? I've got a couple of your books, haven't I?
This was published in 1980, and it was just a collection of short stories. They're only about 5 pages long, but I actually put it out there and asked people if they wanted me to read one of my own next week. So I'm going to be reading the very first one that I published, probably like 1 or 2 chapters from A Whistle from the Hills. So there'll be that next Sunday at 9:30.
And one last one from me. Keep an eye out for a special Facebook Live that will be happening within the next couple of weeks on here. Wayne doesn't know anything about it yet. Don't worry, I'll fill you in on it. It's to do with something that happened in Yorkshire. And my gorgeous other half, Rachel, brought it up and mentioned it. And I've had a good research into it. And I've gone, so we'll be going there. And hopefully doing a live from there, which is it's not too far away from here. I'm not going to say anything else. But, yeah. So on that note, thank you very much for everybody joining us, and we will see you all soon. So see you next Monday. And as I said before, thank you for joining us, David. It's been
it's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, David.
And you, Wayne. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye.
See ya.